I absolutely hate when you turn on a video and you just see this random guy holding an expensive microphone by hand instead of like some sort of boom arm. But you know what? We're doing that today to show that this guy means business. You may have noticed that your boy is in 4x3 as well. I don't know, trying something new today. Welcome to my living room. This week was a whiplash of emotions. I actually went to go see Monster Jam for the first time in over a decade. And I went to go see the Ninja Sex Party show in Boston, which honestly might have been like the top 5 shows I've ever seen. And the next day after that was the Nintendo Direct 2 presentation. And I was just so goddamn excited to see some software running on this thing. The Switch 2 leaks and rumors were pretty rampant all throughout last year. So we all pretty much knew exactly what the Switch 2 was going to look like and how it performed and just the internals and stuff. But there were some unanswered questions like the refresh rate of the screen, how the new Joy-Cons would work, how handsome Luigi's going to be. I had some ideas about what was going to be revealed in this Direct, and my friends and I actually recorded a discussion, but I absolutely biffed it and left the audio delay on there for my stream setup. So it looks like a crazy person edited it and put it together.
Just focus on the Hades posters instead.
Yes. But our general consensus was they would probably talk about the new Mario Kart, show off some more Metroid Prime 4. We predicted Nintendo GameCube for NSO. Obviously, there would be some big third parties. We predicted something like Elden Ring and maybe something like Animal Crossing or F-Zero to really make the nerds happy. My prediction was about a $400 price tag, and their prediction was like $400 to $450. So we got home late that night because we were in Boston, and it was a bit of a drive from there. So I passed the hell out and then woke up about a half hour before the Direct. I somehow slumped into the chair and threw the stream on the TV, and honestly, that actually got me pretty excited and woke me up a bit. I sat there and absorbed every minute, and that Direct got me fucking jazzed. But they failed to mention one thing, and that is the price. That Direct basically started naming off different names of games that are coming out and the features of the Switch, and I'm just going to start listing them off right now. Mario Kart World. It's an open world Mario Kart game, and it's going to be a launch title. The C button on the new Joy-Con enables a new chat feature. With that, you can chat with your friends and you can stream over your gameplay footage with the quality of a Nokia brick phone. But hey, I guess they're not lying to you. They are also going to sell a $50 camera that also looks like a very crappy webcam. But hey, you know what? Keep it all in the Nintendo ecosystem. I totally understand it. They also announced that Game Share is going to be available in some games, which basically means that for some games you can send over basically a invite to your friends where they can start playing the game on their Nintendo Switch family of consoles as well. It's kind of like download play from the Nintendo DS. The screen is an LCD. Boo. But it has HDR and 120 hertz, which basically means that your games are going to be running smoother and looking smoother. And obviously the brightest will be brighter and the brightest will look brighter. The colors will look brighter and darker wherever you are. The Joy-Cons are magnetic. We knew this. And you could also use the Joy-Cons as a mouse. We also knew this. Plus, the dock will support 4K. And when you're docked, the dock will actually cool the system for you. One of the developers introduced a sort of asymmetric game to kind of show off the features of the Switch 2. Kind of in the same vein as Astro's Playroom, but way less cool. You know, look, let's put on my reading glasses there. Oh yeah, this is a paid game. This is listed on the Japanese eShop for about 900 yen, which translates roughly to about $6. So I don't think it's that bad, but like, come on, guys, you couldn't make that a pack-in game. That is very unsurprising and disappointing. The presenters start talking about what is playable on the Switch 2, which are Switch 2 exclusive games, compatible Switch 1 games, and Switch 2 edition games. Now, in my predictions, which you can't see because I fucked up the audio, I basically was talking about how, in my opinion, the Switch 2 edition games will just be like the cross-gen game. So like Metroid Prime 2, that's obviously going to get a Switch 2 version, right? So like you can't play the Switch 2 version on a Switch 1 console. A lot of this was being talked about when they were introducing the digital game cards, and everybody else was kind of expecting it to mean like, oh no, these are upgraded versions of Switch 1 games. I was wrong. They were right. Jerry Paris. Nintendo showed off 6 different titles that were going to get the Nintendo Switch 2 edition moniker, which is going to be Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, and Mario Party Jamboree. Those were the existing games, and the next games that are going to be getting those would be Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends ZA. All of these have some additional content, some more than others. In the Direct, they don't say how much it is going to be to upgrade them, but after the Direct, if you look it up, it's about $10 to $20 depending on the amount of content that you get. It'll be $10 for the upgrades from Zelda, but it's also included in your NSO subscription if you have that. And Mario Party and Kirby, those are going to be $20 each because they add in a lot of additional content. After I saw the footage of the Zelda remasters, I guess, running on Switch 2, they looked breathtaking. Like, absolutely incredible. The streams were in 4K, and they're running at a solid 60 frames per second. That is no doubt going to be a reason to replay for me. I have a 4K OLED up there and also in my game room right now, and they're just going to look fucking gorgeous on those televisions. Metroid Prime 4 is going to have a quality and performance mode. The quality mode is also running at 4K 60, while the performance mode is running at 1080, but at 120 frames per second. And plus, the Metroid Prime 4 Nintendo Switch 2 edition is also going to be using mouse mode. You can use mouse mode with it as well to get those really precise shots, I guess. I don't know if I'm really going to be playing these games with mouse mode all that often. Nintendo themselves have said just like, oh, just play it on your leg, which is a little weird. That doesn't seem very intuitive to me. Next up is a game that actually showcases mouse mode, which is Dragon Drive. This game is new Nintendo IP, and it's basically showcasing that you can use 2 Joy-Cons at the same time to kind of get these characters that are sort of like in wheelchairs. They're robots, and it's basically like a 3x3 or a 3-on-3 basketball game. It looks good. Like, the gameplay looks fun, but for some reason, just like the design of everything, it doesn't have the sauce. You know what I mean? Nintendo really came through with a third-party support, starting everything off with Elden Ring. Yeah, I was right. Plus a bunch of others. I'm just going to read off of this list. Sorry, I'm going to be looking at my phone for this because I can't remember all of them. Hades 2 was second, and I really want to see that game running at 4K on my OLED. That game looks orgasmic. Is that too much? Are you uncomfortable? Street Fighter 6 is getting a new version. It looks comparable to all the other console editions, but it also has some new updated stuff, and it is coming out on launch day. Daemon X Machina has a new game. Split Fiction is coming out at launch. EA Sports is going to be putting their games on there. It's in the game. Hogwarts Legacy is getting a Switch 2 version, but not a Switch 2 edition. It's not doing that. No upgrades. That game's coming at launch. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 is coming. Hitman is coming. The 007 game is coming. Yakuza 0 is coming at launch. And a new Hyrule Warriors game is going in the winter. GameCube is also going to be officially put on the NSO with a smattering of games at launch. The first one is Soul Calibur 2, which features Link, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and there's also F-Zero GX, which is very funny because I just bought that game for like $90, and now it's going to be on the Switch 2 NSO. It actually looked like they were showing off some more of the pricier games on the GameCube that are coming to NSO, which is nice because hopefully prices will go down for crazy people like me that still buy old retro games. And this was only the first half of the third-party support. I'll just go through another smattering of a few. Deltarune with Chapters 3 and 4 is coming. Civ 7, this weird beach game that accidentally froze the stream. Although the stream was always kind of weird with some audio delay. Cyberpunk is coming. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is coming. A brand new Soulsborne game that's done by the guy that essentially crafted the whole genre which is also apparently going to be pretty multiplayer focused. So that made a lot of people mad, but I don't know. Looks pretty cool. I might play it. And is exclusive to the system. The last two games that were revealed were Kirby Air Riders, which is very funny because they revealed the director to be Masahiro Sakurai, and a lot of people were expecting him to be working on a new Kid Icarus game. And no, it's Kirby. It was either going to be Kid Icarus or Smash, and I think it's awesome that he's working on Kirby again. He is the creator of Kirby, and he hasn't made a Kirby game in quite a while, so it's cool to be coming back into a franchise that a lot of people wanted a new one of, that being Air Ride. And then the last new game is obviously going to be a new Mario game. New 3D DK, baby, let's go! I've been enjoying some Donkey Kong lately. I've been playing DKC Returns on the Switch, the new remaster that just came out. I've been playing a little bit of the original Donkey Kong Country games. I think it's awesome that a new 3D Donkey Kong is coming. The last one that came out was on the Nintendo 64, so it's been a hot minute. And that was developed by Rare. And we also got a full look at the redesigned Donkey Kong that was teased a little bit in Mario Kart World. And I think he looked great. This is very clearly developed by the Mario Odyssey team. It has the sauce. And the best part is that it's coming out just a month after the launch date. And then the launch date is revealed, and it is June 5th. I was very excited about this because my wedding is coming up, and I was very nervous that it was going to be before the wedding, and I wouldn't have any time to play the Switch 2. Overall, I was coming off the high of the Switch 2 Direct. I mean, everything that they showed was like really impressive. I thought everything looked really good. Everything was very exciting. And then I was like, oh no, they didn't show the price. It's $450. It's more than I was expecting, but honestly, I don't hate it. I think it's still pretty reasonable for the like technology that's in here. Mario Kart is $80. 70's a lot. 80 is even worse. I tried justifying it. It's a big game, right? It's the most ambitious Mario Kart that they've ever made. It's clear just from what we've seen. And plus, they've potentially been developing this game for over a decade. You know, one game ends, they usually will start development on the next one, especially when it comes to Mario, especially when it comes to a best-selling game like Mario Kart. But $80 is still $80. In my day-to-day, I work in marketing. So my dumb little marketing brain was like, how do I justify this? There's also a SKU that's going to be bundling the Switch 2 with Mario Kart, and that is going to be a total of $500, which obviously is a lot, but you're bundling it in with a game. And that game is, if you do a little bit of math, they're only selling that game for $50 as opposed to $80, and the only bad part is it's a digital code, but, you know, whatever. This way, it puts the install base a little bit higher. The margins are going to be a little bit better and higher. Companies will often sell their systems at a little bit of a loss because they know they're going to make it up with their software sales, obviously. And there's a whole Mario Kart Direct that's coming out this week that will show that there's probably something else to this as well. Maybe some live service elements as well, or free updates coming down the line. We don't know exactly what the value of this game is yet. The Switch 2 editions of these games, like Kirby, Mario Party Jamboree, and Tears of the Kingdom as well, are all $80 as well. The MSRP for all of these games are all already $60, so obviously there's the $20 to $10 upgrade for all of these. So yeah, that's why those are coming out as $80 as well. Why was I so silly to see that there's a future where Nintendo Selects could come back and games would be heavily discounted? Oh, fuck. Am I not recording anymore? Ah, shit. In the days that followed, I was keeping up with the channel Good Vibes Gaming, who were doing a lot of different updates about the games, the hardware, obviously the price of the console. They also got some hands-on experience with the Switch 2 as well. If you don't follow Good Vibes Gaming, I highly recommend them. I've been watching them for a couple of years, and they're great. They have great hosts, they have great chemistry, and yeah, highly recommend. Plus, one of the guys, Daniel, did the logo for Son of a Fitch. So, yeah, you got to go support them. There are a few things that I want to touch on, but I'm not going to dwell on them for too long. The first one being that some of the game cards don't have any of the game on them. You just put them in the console and then you have to download the game. Yeah, don't buy those, guys. Those are just a literal waste of space and like bad for the environment. There's like absolutely no reason for that. I mean, I am a physical game collector. I love to see those things on my shelves, but if they don't contain the game, it's literally just a waste of space. The second one is the box art. I'm not a big fan of the box art at all. The red banner on top is very stark and it's just like, it's distracting. The only thing that I do like is that the box art does wrap around the spine, so that gives it a little bit of a cooler look. But they're also just a little bit bigger than the actual Switch cases, so yeah, I just wish there was a little bit more consistency between the generations. Now, we have to talk about the uncomfortable part. We have to talk about the price of video games. The price of video games is always a topic that's debated whenever there's some sort of indie game that's a little bit more than like $15, $20, or there's a pixel art game that is just full-blown a full-price video game. People get upset about it. I completely understand. Inflation is very high right now. Our dollar is just straight up worth less. Plus, the cost of living is sky high. It's very hard to just pay for just random things right now. Video games are expensive to make. Nintendo doesn't really disclose on how expensive their games are, but they're estimated to be at least hundreds of millions of dollars, especially games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Apparently, Grand Theft Auto 6 is rumored to be a $1 billion video game. When you look at CEOs of companies, let's say, for instance, former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick. He allegedly got a golden parachute, just literally just telling him to leave Activision Blizzard. Allegedly is close to $1 billion. That's a lot of money. I could be wrong. It's alleged. Just the salary alone of the Nintendo CEO is $2.5 million. Now, I'm not saying that $2.5 million isn't a lot of money. It is. I'm never going to see $2.5 million in a year. I'm not going to see $2.5 million ever. But I'm not going to say it's an exorbitant amount of money for a CEO of a company as large as Nintendo. What I'm trying to say is, yes, video games are expensive to make. Yes, video games are expensive. But in my eyes, I don't think it's fair to call Nintendo a greedy company. When Nintendo makes money on video games, they are clearly putting it out into their developers, their IP, their research and development, the hardware, obviously. It's not like video games are cheap on every other platform. I mean, obviously some of them are, but take, for instance, Baldur's Gate 3. It's pretty rare that you'll ever find that game below $50 with a $60 to $70 price tag. I mean, it's not that far away from MSRP. But you don't hear a lot of people complaining that Larian Studios should be discounting their game. They're obviously using it to work on either their new game or updates to their existing game. I'm not going to say that all video games should be more expensive. I'm not an expert. I do not know the inner workings of Nintendo. I don't know where all the money necessarily goes. I don't know why they came up with the $80 price tag of Mario Kart. But I'm not going to say that it can't be justified. I don't need to buy every single game that comes out on the Switch 2 and just put it on the shelf and never play it again. How else will I have time to play Madagascar for the Nintendo GameCube? I personally think that the $500 price tag for Mario Kart and the Switch 2 is justifiable. I know with currency rates, it's probably a little bit cheaper in other regions, but with the weird economic tariff thing, they've obviously adjusted for my pre-order on April 8th. I'm so fucking done with this shit, man. This is so fucking annoying. So I didn't say this before this dramatic reveal, but I just assumed that the Switch 2 price was just more expensive because of the whole fucking tariff shit. All because this dipshit doesn't fucking understand how tariffs work. So yeah, I assumed that the price would be $450 because of the tariffs. But yeah, Nintendo delayed the pre-order to readjust. The consoles are manufactured in Vietnam, and the supposed tariffs on Vietnam are 46%. So that means that we could see a 50% increase on the Switch 2. Now, I don't think a $750 console is very justifiable. This is all very much happening at a rapid pace. By the time this episode comes out, it's very possible that the tariffs did happen, they didn't happen, who the hell knows. The problem is this all happened and I was excited for this console and I no longer am. Do I want to buy a $750 console? No. Do I want it? Yeah. I love being an early adopter of tech. I love being on the ground floor. I love being part of a niche community where everyone's kind of just like experiencing it all at the same time. I can afford a $750 console, and that's not a brag, but I don't want to spend that money. I don't want people to see that people are willing to pay that kind of money for it. I don't. I don't think people should pay for $750 for a new Nintendo console. You always have to vote with your wallet. If you're not happy with it, you don't buy it. It's a bummer, but it's kind of out of Nintendo's hands. I mean, if they can't eat the extra cost of the tariffs, it's very possible that we're going to get an expensive console that they can't market in this region, which is their biggest region that they sell to. We might actually end up getting the console at a later time than everybody else. I was extremely excited for this Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. I'm an unabashed Nintendo fan. I love their games. I love their consoles. But when I got the text that Mario Kart is going to be $80 and some people were even saying $90, that completely took the wind out of my sails. I hope for the best, but in the meantime, I guess I have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon for the Xbox. Why did I even buy that?